What's up, guys? How's it going? Truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, I called Tom out months ago on him having a tip jar. Why is the highest paid musician in Nashville putting up a tip jar? Why is the biggest session player, the most in demand session player, the highest paid session player, Tom Bukovac in Nashville? Why does he have a tip jar? I said, why? Why are you begging for money, Tom? You need money? I sent him $1,000 on Venmo or Cash App or so. I can't remember what it was. I sent him $1,000. Maybe it was $2,000. I don't remember. It was a little chunk of change for Tom to help him out. And check this out now. This was months ago. Okay. And he took it down, by the way. He took it down. He did not post his tip jar anymore after that, thankfully enough. But now, in his latest video, he has once again instituted the tip jar. Let's see here. And my problem with the tip jar is not, the guy's trying to make money. Okay, given. Okay, great. My problem is that most of the people that are on the Homeschool channel are senior citizens. Most senior citizens are on a fixed income. So Tom, at this point, is basically soliciting donations from people on fixed incomes. I mean, read his comments. They're all from senior citizens. I'm retired, and your videos bring me great joy. And I used to play music in Nashville. I know how and with the old guys, and all he's got is vintage guitars. So, what is the biggest vintage guitar market? Old guys, old people. You ask a 22-year-old, hey man, you want a 1965 Strat? They'd be like, why? Why would I want that? Hey, you want to pay, ask a 23-year-old, hey, you want to pay $500,000 for a 1957 Les Paul? 1958 Les Paul? Wait, what? Why? What? How much? They don't even care. Okay. So Tom's channel consists of senior citizens, retired people, people on a fixed income, old timers looking at the vintage guitars, old timers reliving their youth, or I don't know what they're doing on there. Okay. But I found a comment. Okay. Because Tom went and put this tip jar back on his channel. I had him take it. I said, Tom, why are you begging for tips? Why are you begging for money, Tom? You need money. I sent him a couple grand. I can't remember if it was $1 or $2 grand. Anyway, look at this. This is on a video that was posted a couple days ago. I don't know. He's hawking his horrible Lesssons, which I'm going to go over. I mean, these Lesssons are a joke. Okay. But here we go. Here's Tom. If you're being thoroughly entertained by the content of this channel and you feel led, oh my God. So now he's like acting like, there's some higher power leading you, if you feel led, but which once again goes with his narcissistic personality and him being some guru, him being some kind of godlike figure in his own mind, that he could lead you, that he could get you to somehow, give him money through the power of his personality, cult of personality. And you feel led to make a donation to the guy behind the guy. You know what's weird about a lot of these homeschoolers that come into my channel and make these obscene comments? 90% of them are homoerotic in nature. Like 90% of homeschoolers' comments are homoerotic in nature. Read them. And think about that one clip I posted on. If you don't like it, you can suck a dick. They're all homoerotic in nature. You know, one of my viewers wrote, "Man, I'm wondering if most of these homeschoolers aren't in the closet." And I had to reply, "Yeah, you might be onto something, though, dude." Tom uses the terminology "to the guy behind the guy." If you want to donate to the guy behind the guy, please feel free. Please feel free to give me money for no reason. I know you guys are senior citizens. I know you're on fixed incomes. I know that I'm basically your whole world. So if you feel like giving me money, go ahead and do it. Here's my PayPal, Venmo. I think I Venmoed Tom a couple grand. Was it $2,000, Tom, or was it 1,000? I can't remember. It was a good chunk of change. I figured Tom needed it. Okay. So he's asking these people to donate. So, you know, I'm going through the comments and I'm wondering, well, I wonder, you know, these poor guys, the senior citizen guys, you know, could I find somebody that donated, you know, that would donate? Like, what kind of person would donate to Tom? And I'm going, before I even started this, I said, Tom's got mostly senior citizens. They're mostly on a fixed income. This is not good, Tom. You don't need, okay. Tom is the highest paid session player in Nashville. He makes more money than anybody. On the Maximum Larry course, he just made 250 grand. He had 3,000 people sign up, right, at $200 a piece. That's 600 grand. Now, if you take out the expenses, let's just say 100 grand to make the video, that's 500 grand. Now, you split that with Brett, you got $250,000. So Tom just made $250,000, and he has to solicit funds from senior citizens that are on a fixed income. I mean, Tom, that's low, man. That is low. It's despicable. It's despicable. I found a guy. Look at this. David G. Irokes. 647. I don't know how you say his name. Tom, like lots of fellow homeschoolers, I'm a senior citizen on a fixed income. I watch all your videos and I find them a great comfort. Since my wife passed away from COVID 4 years ago, here's a widower. So not only is a senior citizen who's on a fixed income, he's a widower. Tom, you are the worst. You are literally the worst. Unbelievable. I'm on a fixed income, but I'm going to donate $50 to send you on your PayPal address. Thanks for all you do. So here's a guy, senior citizen on a fixed income, widower, and he's sending Tom $50. You feel proud about that, Tom? You feel good about that, buddy? Do you feel good? Tom, you're out here soliciting donations. If you want to make a donation, how is it a donation? First and foremost, Tom is not a not-for-profit. When you donate something, you're donating it to a not-for-profit. You're giving it to somebody, you know, to help them. How does Tom need help? He just made $250,000 on his Maximum Larry. It's been getting rave reviews from even the most skeptical tight-ass consumer. So now he's calling you a tight-ass because you can't afford his lessons. Because you can join TrueFire for what is it, $9.99 a month? It's something very reasonable. And they have 400 instructors on there. You know, Tom wants $300 for his lesson. And you gotta see this. This lesson, it's a joke. This Maximum Larry lesson, it's called Maximum Larry. It's an absolute joke. Okay. And you know, one of my biggest problems with this is Tom played on nothing but garbage country pop records. That's how he made his whole name, quote unquote, name in Nashville, is playing on the most ridiculous, easiest, just throwaway garbage songs, right? And yet he's going to teach you how to play a boogie rhythm? Tom, you've never played a boogie rhythm on any record you've ever played on in your whole life. And you're going to teach people how to do it? You're going to teach people how to play. Tom, what is it that you, Tom, how is it that you're qualified to teach a boogie rhythm? Well, I played on a Morgan Wallen record. There's not one boogie rhythm on one Morgan Wallen song. Not one. Not one Morgan Wallen song has a boogie in it. Country doesn't even boogie. There is no boogie in country. Especially not the country pop garbage that Tom's played on. Tom, how is it that you're qualified to teach a boogie rhythm to somebody? How is it that you mastered the boogie rhythm, Tom? Tell us. Well, I played on a Carrie Underwood record. Oh, and a Taylor Swift record. Tom, there's no boogie. There's not one. Boogie's in another universe than a Taylor Swift record. Okay, Tom? Boogie's in another universe from a Carrie Underwood recording, dude. I don't know. You got to hear this. Look. Now it's $300, guys. It was $200, and you were a tight-ass consumer because you couldn't afford $200. Now you're even more of a tight-ass consumer because you can't. See, you're a consumer, right? Tom says, you're a consumer. First of all, you're a consumer. You're nothing. You're just a resource for him to give him money. You're a consumer. And you're a tight-ass because you don't want to pay $300 of your hard-earned money for this garbage course. It's now $300. But I love this. I love this. Brett puts this, arguably one of the greatest guitarists alive today. Brett, you have an open invitation. My channel or your channel, Tom's channel, I don't care. You have an open invitation to argue that point with me. I will bring up I can't even believe he's doing this. Oh, arguably one of the greatest guitarists alive today. Why? Because he played on a Morgan Wallen record? Because he played on a Taylor Swift record? Because he played country pop garbage for 2 decades? He's the greatest guitar player? No, absolutely not. Not even close. Now, this is interesting. He played on, so many records. But up until 5 years ago, nobody knew who he was. Now, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why a guy who is playing on records that are heard by millions of people now. You have to understand, these records Tom played on were big records. Big records. Okay, the biggest records coming out of Nashville, Tom was on them. Okay? And nobody's heard of the guy. Why is that? Let me tell you why. It's because Tom never played one lick. Tom never played one passage. Tom never played one lead on any of these songs heard by millions of people where one person went, wow, did you hear that? Did you hear that guitar part? It was incredible. What that guitar part's amazing. Who is that? Wait, hold on. Did you just hear what that guitar player did? It's incredible. Oh my God, who is that guy? Not one person said that. Not one person in the whole country, millions of people that listen to Tom Bukovac on record ever went, wow, that's an incredible lick. Who is that? Not one person. Not one person ever heard a Carrie Underwood song and went, wow, did you hear that guitar part? Who is that guy? Not one person ever heard a Taylor Swift song and went, wow, did you hear that guitar solo? It was incredible. Who was that? Not one person heard a Morgan Wallen song that Tom was on and went, wow, did you hear that guitar? Who is that guy? Wow, that's great. Not one song on the hundreds of songs Tom has played on the hundreds of songs that Tom has played on, heard by millions of people. Previous to him getting on YouTube, not one person ever wondered, wow, who's that guitar player? He's really good. Because once again, as I said, there's not one guitar part that Tom's ever played on any one of these major releases that an intermediate guitar player couldn't play. And it's been proven night after night when they do the cover version of his song and play his part note for note. All around the country. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of guitar players can play anything Tom can play. Anything he can play. On any major record, they can play. You can play it. I've made a demonstration in my last video of him doing this dumbass Texas song. 3-chord song with a 4-note melody. Anybody can do that. And that's why it's so funny to me that when he goes over these lessons, he doesn't go, oh, yeah, I was in the studio. You ever notice this about Tom? On all of his videos, he never goes, oh, yeah, I was in the studio with Morgan Wallen the other day. He had this really cool song called, whatever, Pardon Me. And man, if you listen to this chord progression, it's really kind of interesting because instead of playing the 4, what he does is he goes to the 6, and then he puts a 13th chord on top of it, which I had to do like this, and then I had to invert it 4 ways to get this sound. He never does that. He never goes over anything he's ever done in the studio that made him famous. Because it's so easy. There's no reason to. Anybody can do it. So he's famous for playing these garbage country pop songs, right? And yet he's going to teach you something very complex. He's going to teach you something that's not that. So you know him from this, but he's going to teach you that. So you know him from playing country pop, but he's going to teach you how to boogie woogie. You know him from playing these absolute country pop garbage songs, but Tom is going to show you how to play a blues. Tom has never recorded one song on any record he's ever done that even imitates a blues. Anything. It's an abomination to the blues to have some country pop guy who's sitting in an air-conditioned studio going to tell you about the blues. Oh my God. I mean, it's an abomination. This course is an abomination. So nobody knew who he was. And it wasn't until he created the Homeskoolin YouTube channel that he became a household name in the guitar and music community. That's not true. That's not true. He didn't start the Homeskoolin music channel. It was another channel. He started the Homeschool music channel after he started his first channel. And his first channel was him sitting in a garage with his wife. And he was playing guitar and she was singing. So really, Tom Bukovac became a household name after his wife at the time. He's not married anymore. She divorced him. But his wife, who's a very nice-looking blonde woman, who has a very pleasant singing voice, who everybody tuned in to see, they didn't care about Tom. Tom was they didn't know who he is. They tuned in to see this pretty blonde girl singing in a garage because they were bored. It was COVID. They were bored. People were bored. They got online. It's a well-known fact that all kinds of, little home type activities became huge during COVID. One of them was watching YouTube. Tom was on there with his then wife. I think her name's Sarah, but I could be mistaken. Singing. She was singing. So they were listening to renditions of songs. They weren't listening to Tom play. They didn't care about Tom. They don't even know who Tom is. And then after that, he started the Homeskoolin channel, which was a branch off of this original channel, which already had, I can't remember how many subscribers, quite a few. And so they went to Tom's channel. And then he started to grow something from that. So in his lesson, like I said, he's not teaching you anything that he knows. He's not teaching you anything that he's famous for doing. He's not teaching you anything that he normally plays. Because when he goes out and plays gigs, he's playing this country slop with Tal. His last gig was some country. He's playing, thank God I'm a country boy. A country boy can survive. Whatever these things are. He's not playing a boogie woogie. Tom doesn't play boogie. Tom doesn't play blues. He plays country pop garbage. Okay? But what's even funnier about this? What's even funnier about this Maximum Larry lesson that's $300? That's $300 is look at what they have. This is an actual clip from the lesson. They have Tom slopping through some garbage on one angle. Look at what TrueFire has. This is a little clip from a TrueFire lesson from I can remember the guy's name. He's good, man. He's good. I think his name's Josh something. Oh, Josh Smith. Good guitar player. He's as good as Tom, if not better than Tom. Look, they've got an angle close-up of his picking hand. They've got an angle where you can see the whole guitar, so you can go, oh, so you can just immediately go, oh, he's up here. Okay. Then they show you his picking hand, what his picking hand's doing, and then they show you a close-up of his fretting hand. And then they have the tablature running in the middle. They have the tab running in the middle. So you can go back and you can look at it and you can say, oh, he's 719. So if you can't see it, they have it written down. This is TrueFire. I think what is it, $10 a month, $20 a month? And they have 400 guys on there that are doing this. Robin Ford, they've got what's his name, Kurt Fletcher. I think they've got Greg on there. They've got Josh Smith on. They've got Andy Wood on there. They've got Steve Vai on there. They've got everybody on there. And they've got multiple angles, so you can see what his picking hand's doing. You can see the fretboard. You can see a close-up of the fretboard, and they have tablature. What does Maximum Larry got? They got a drunk, washed-up studio player who played on garbage country records from one angle, playing an old beat-up guitar, slopping through a boogie rhythm, which he doesn't even know what he's doing on because he doesn't play boogie rhythms. He doesn't know what a boogie rhythm. He never played boogie rhythm on one record he's ever been on, and then won $300 for it. And then, like I said, when they first started this thing, Tom, they wanted $200. Well, first of all, he said you get 50% off. So 50% off $300 is $150, right? So he first said, "Hey guys, you get 50% off the $300, so you get it for $150." But then when they put the course out, it was $199, so it wasn't $150. And people are like, "Wait a minute, Tom, you said it was $150." Whoa, suck a dick, suck a dick. You don't like it, suck a dick. That's what Tom said to his homeschoolers. So they ponied up the dough, $200. So he had well over 3,000 people paying him $200. That's $600,000, right? $600,000, and then he has to split that with Brett. So let's say they take off expenses of $100,000 for travel, for videos, whatever, right? So they split $500,000. They make $250,000 a piece. And then what does he do? He begs for money off of senior citizens who are on a fixed income. It's despicable. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next time.